Most people think they overspend because they're bad with money, but the truth is this: overspending isn't a financial problem, it's a psychological one. And until you understand the hidden forces influencing your decisions, no budget, no app, and no amount of discipline will ever fix it. And today, I'm going to show you the real reason you overspend, why it's not your fault, and what you can do starting today to take back control, without feeling deprived or guilty. This is Zero to Wealth, and I help people understand money by breaking down the psychology and behavior behind financial decisions, so you can make better choices without stress, shame, or complicated systems. Because the truth is, most financial problems don't start in the wallet. They start in the mind. Let me ask you something. Have you ever told yourself, "I'm not spending anything extra this month," and then suddenly it's the 27th, and your bank account looks like it went through a blender? Or maybe you've looked at your credit card statement and wondered, how did I spend that much? I didn't even buy anything big. Or maybe you've gone through this cycle. Overspend, feel guilty, promise to be better, repeat. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Studies from the American Psychological Association show that 65% of people say money is their number one source of stress. But here's the part most people don't realize. Stress leads to emotional spending. Emotional spending leads to guilt. Guilt leads to avoidance. Avoidance leads to more overspending. It's not a lack of willpower. It's a system you were never taught to recognize, and meanwhile, companies, marketers, and the entire digital world do understand it. And they use it against you every single day. Not maliciously, but strategically. And once you see what's happening behind the scenes, you can't unsee it. It will actually change the way you view your spending decisions forever. Let's break down the psychology of overspending in a way that's simple, calm, and rooted in data. 1. Dopamine, the real reason small purchases feel big. Whenever you buy something, even something small, your brain releases dopamine, the chemical of desire and anticipation. Not satisfaction. Not happiness. Just the anticipation of reward. This creates a loop. You feel stressed, you want relief, you buy something, dopamine hits, your brain remembers the relief, repeat. This is the same cycle social media uses to keep you scrolling. And according to behavioral economists, most impulsive purchases happen during emotional discomfort, not because you wanted the item, but because you wanted the feeling associated with buying it. 2. Social comparison, the hidden enemy of your wallet. 10 years ago, most of us compared ourselves to maybe a dozen people around us. Today, because of TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and influencers, we compare ourselves to thousands of people every day. People with curated lifestyles, staged homes, edited vacations, and sponsored products. What used to be a rare moment of envy has become a daily background hum. And comparison triggers spending. Research published in the Journal of Consumer Psychology shows that when you see others with things you should have, clothes, trips, gadgets, even decor, your brain interprets it as a status threat. Spending becomes a way to relieve that feeling, even if you don't realize it. We tell ourselves stories. I deserve this. Everyone else has one. It's not that expensive. It's a treat. These stories are not random. They are emotional survival mechanisms designed to calm social discomfort. 3. The low-friction trap. Why spending has become effortless. Not long ago, spending required effort. Driving somewhere, taking out cash, filling forms, signing receipts. Today, spending takes 2 taps or even no taps at all with auto payments. Amazon one-click ordering alone increased their sales by an estimated $5 billion per year when it launched. Because friction, even small friction, stops impulse spending. But now, friction is gone. And when friction disappears, spending increases automatically without you noticing. Subscription creep is one of the biggest examples. Most people subscribe to 10 to 17 monthly services, according to surveys from multiple financial platforms. And many can't even name them all. Overspending today is often invisible spending. For lifestyle creep, the quietest wealth killer. Here's something shocking. Lifestyle creep is responsible for more long-term overspending than impulse shopping ever will be. Lifestyle creep happens when your income increases and your spending rises with it. It feels natural. It feels justified. It's rarely emotional, it's psychological. Your brain adapts to comfort. That means the things that once felt like luxuries eventually feel like needs. This is called hedonic adaptation, and it's one of the strongest drivers of overspending. It's why many people earn more but somehow feel just as broke. 5. The rise of BNPL, buy now, pay later. Buy now, pay later services like Klarna, Afterpay, and Affirm are exploding. And the reason is simple. They separate pleasure from pain. The pleasure is immediate. The pain is delayed. Psychologists call this temporal discounting, our tendency to undervalue future consequences. It's not stupidity. It's biology. Humans are wired to prefer immediate relief. BNPL companies don't make you overspend. They simply make your brain feel like you're not spending. 6. Financial avoidance, the overspending spiral. Here's another reveal. Overspending often isn't caused by spending, it's caused by avoiding your finances. According to studies, people who never check their accounts spend significantly more than those who check weekly. But avoidance reduces anxiety in the moment, but amplifies overspending in the long run. It's like closing your eyes while driving because you're scared of the road. It feels calm for 1 second. Then everything gets worse. My turning point with overspending came on a completely normal Tuesday afternoon. I was looking at my credit card bill, not because I wanted to, but because I had to. And I saw something that finally made the pattern clear. I didn't have one big overspending problem. I had dozens of tiny psychological triggers quietly pulling me in different directions. I overspent when I was stressed. I overspent when I felt behind. I overspent when I felt bored. I overspent when I avoided checking my accounts. The problem wasn't discipline. The problem was invisible habits. Once I understood the psychology, everything changed. Not overnight, not instantly, but steadily, calmly, permanently. And I want to share the exact steps that made the biggest difference, so you can apply them immediately. How to stop overspending without feeling restricted. 1. Create friction in your spending. Your brain overspends because spending is too easy. So we do the opposite. We add gentle friction. Examples. Delete saved cards from stores. Turn off one-click ordering. Remove shopping apps from your home screen. Turn off notifications from sales apps. Only shop on your computer, never on your phone. Not to punish yourself, just to slow the moment enough to think. 2. Use the 24-hour rule for anything non-essential. Impulse buying thrives on speed. So slow it down. If something is not essential, wait 24 hours before buying it. The dopamine will fade. Your rational brain will return. Most things won't feel worth it anymore. 3. Identify your emotional triggers. Overspending is emotional before it is financial. Ask yourself, when do I tend to overspend? Common triggers. Stress, boredom. Loneliness. Comparing yourself to others. Feeling behind. Feeling like you're working hard and deserve something. Once you know your triggers, you can pause when they appear instead of reacting automatically. 4. Start a weekly money check-in, not a budget. Budgets fail because they're too rigid. But awareness works. Once a week, review 3 things. What you spent. Why you spent it, how you felt when you spent. No shame. No judgment. Just awareness. Your brain cannot change what it refuses to look at. 5. Replace emotional spending with emotional relief. You can't remove a habit without replacing it. So instead of emotional spending, create emotional alternatives. When stressed, go for a walk. When bored, call a friend. When lonely, schedule an activity. When overwhelmed, journal for 2 minutes. When comparing, unfollow accounts that trigger envy. Small habits beat big impulses. 6. Set default limits instead of strict budgets. A default limit is a gentle boundary. For example, eating out twice a week. 2 fun purchases per month. 1 subscription added only if one is canceled. This is not restriction. It's intentional living. 7. Hide money from yourself, but in a healthy way. This is one of the most effective overspending solutions. Set up automatic transfers to an investment account, a separate savings account, a sinking fund for future purchases. If the money isn't in your checking account, your brain can't spend it impulsively. 8. Create a buy later list. Every time you want something, put it on the list. Most items will lose their appeal within a week. This stops emotional spending and builds intentional spending. 9. Use the cost per year trick. Overspending often happens because we think short-term. Ask this question: if I buy this every week/month, what does it cost per year? $8 coffee? $2,000 per year. $20 takeaway? $5,000 per year. $30 subscription? $360 per year. Your future self becomes part of the decision. Overspending isn't a character flaw. It's not a lack of discipline. It's not because you're irresponsible. It's because your brain was not designed for a world of frictionless spending, constant stimulation, endless comparison, and dopamine-driven digital economies. Once you understand the psychology behind your spending, you stop feeling guilty and you start feeling in control. Not by restricting yourself, not by budgeting every dollar, but by bringing awareness to the invisible patterns that shape your financial life. Small changes compound. Tiny adjustments stack. And over time, overspending becomes something you understand, not something you fear. If you want more simple, calm breakdowns like this that help you improve your financial life without stress or overwhelm, feel free to subscribe.